I was blinded in 1978 in a car accident. Went through the window of a car after hitting a telegraph pole. Glass lacerations to the face, which also cut my eyes, which made me instantly blind there. I felt or believed I was looking at myself from above, so I could actually see it in my mind, and I saw myself being loaded into the ambulance and carted away. And that's a very weird sort of experience, very calming sort of out-of-body experience, and I've had that a number of times when I've been playing judo or training for judo as well, when your body's full of endorphins. One thing I like about judo, it's a close contact sport, so you have to have a training partner to train with. So therefore, having someone to play with, so to speak, is not a problem. You have to. And you've got that close body contact, which is aggressive type of physical contact. Nevertheless, it's close contact. And it's just good fun, and the fact that you develop trust in each other and each other's abilities, and to protect each other's safety when you throw them and do other judo techniques, it builds up that good bond and comradeship as well. So it's a whole lot of regions there as well, and as well as probably more recent years, it's a good feeling when you know you're good at something. It makes you feel very comfortable on the mat when you're training, and it's very much like a second home because you're so familiar with what you're doing. A lot of people find playing judo if you're blind an extraordinary feat. In reality, it's not, and society generally think like that because they've got preconceived ideas of what people blind or vision impaired are capable of. Usually they're negative ideas, so when they see an activity like judo or other things, they automatically assume it can't be done, or if it can be done, there's some sort of exceptional reason for it. And when you analyse what judo is, it's a wrestling sport, so you got hold of each other. Sight is irrelevant in the sport. Strangely, I'm about the only one in Australia that's blind that's played it at any sort of state level and above. Perhaps it reconfirms this idea that I'm perhaps unique, when actually I'm not. There's no reason why any person blind or totally blind can play the sport quite successfully. Probably the main reason why they can't play is obviously if they don't like the sport, they're not going to play it, but also sighted clubs and that perhaps feeling uncomfortable with a blind person on the mat, and that's where some of those issues come into play there. I'm reluctant to talk about any subject to do with hearing and things because I automatically think, oh, you lose one sense, others improve. This is a common myth, and really the only sense that improves is your common sense, and that's what I tell people to lighten the load. As far as I know, there's no research to show that your hearing improves or sense of touch improves. It only improves if you practice those skills. I still have trouble tuning up a guitar, so my hearing is not that perfect. It's quite interesting, and a lot of people like to believe that for a whole number of reasons, a couple being helps alleviate the guilt that they may be feeling, sort of like survivor guilt in a way. You know, I can't see but they can. They might say that things like that to make themselves feel better, or some sort of vague attempt to make the person with the disability feel better by suggesting, oh yes, you're compensated by having these superpowers, in an attempt to think that person needs a lift up or something. So they're very misguided sort of attitudes that are quite often reinforced, particularly, dare I say it, through media at times. Funny enough, in soapy type shows, it's never forever, the disability. They nearly always bang their head again and suddenly get their sight back, something like that. So it's very short term, and they have a miracle cure, reinforcing that sort of happy ending and perhaps that subliminal message that it's better not to be disabled because you won't be able to live a fulfilling life. It reinforces that message sometimes, and happiness and sunshine when the disability is cured, so to speak. So it's interesting how subtly some of these things can be reinforced. Quite often there's a suggestion that I'm doing things to prove, why are you doing it? Well, why not? It's a sport I thought I'd like to try. I happen to be good at it, and through hard work and training. Same with other skills, like I do ballroom dancing. It's just something I want to do. I look at my disability and work out whether it's possible to do those activities, and I do it because I want to, not to necessarily prove something or prove to myself or prove to society. I just do it for the same reasons anybody else does. You know, that looks like fun, I'll give it a go. I find in life, particularly as a person with disability, you seem to have to be defending yourself all the time and answering questions and queries, which to a degree I don't mind, but when the questions become ignorant, self-evident that you don't need to ask them, it's crazy, and you can get a bit tired of it. It's just out there all the time, and that sort of pressure of that negative stereotype. I think in some ways it seems to be getting better at one end and worse at another, so I'm never sure if we're ever going to get there. And it's just an ongoing battle. You're having to justify yourself all the time. It does become annoying. thing, but at the same time, on the other side of it, with technology nowadays, just making things such a level playing field with the accessible features on computers, bus timetables that are electronic form now, so you can catch a bus within minutes instead of taking pot luck because you don't know when the bus is coming, and things like that. Overall, I think things are better, and as people are, particularly with people with disabilities, are getting out more and more because of accessibility, I think these barriers are slowly being broken down, but it's going to take a long time. At the same time, more people get out, the more normalised, I guess, we become.